Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right, next question here is from West Side Aaron. West Side asks, my cruise dose is 100 milligrams of test going into a hypertrophy phase. I plan on increasing to 200 milligrams of testosterone and 100 milligrams of nandrolone the first 3 weeks. Then 400 milligrams of test and 200 milligrams of nandrolone as my cap, unless more is needed. Should I titrate my food and my training volume to peak along with the esters of the drugs at around 9 weeks total? And once I end the hypertrophy phase, should I continue to push food and volume up for another 3 to 5 weeks? I look at it this way, man. When I'm progressing, there's a few knobs I can turn when it comes to progression. I I can, training intensity, training volume is just the stimulus for growth. And as we up PEDs, we up our capacity to be able to push training a little bit harder. Food also plays a role in that as well. We know when we go into a caloric deficit that we have to be more mindful of training fatigue and recovery from training. As we push food up, we have more of a capacity to train hard and be able to recover from that training. Same thing with the PEDs. So I have those two knobs that we can turn. What I do personally is if body composition is declining, I turn the PEDs up. If body composition is looking good, I'll keep cranking the food up appropriately. Training, I don't really change my training that much from cruise to hypertrophy phase. I want to train, and I think this is a mistake that a lot of guys make. They feel like because they have lowered the PEDs that they need to back off the training. Granted, you don't have the same drive that you did before. A lot of that's just the androgens giving you that extra kick in the nuts, the CNS stimulation that you have. But if you can sustain training through your cruise phase, I've found a lot of times I can continue to progress during my cruise and sometimes even make significant progress during my cruise. And some of it could be just the latent effect of the drugs dissipating over time because of how the esters play out. We know that with these PEDs that they half every with the half-life, they're going to, for example, an athlete's going to half every 5 to 7 days. DECA's probably more like 8 to 10 days it's going to half, and it takes 5 half-lives for it to come down to baseline or to eliminate down to wherever we're at. But I let that dictate. During the cruise, I will adjust food down a little bit. I find when PEDs are lower, that body composition will take a hit if we keep the food too high. But training is something that I really keep static most of the time. And if I feel like I'm making progress with my training, I'll leave it alone. If I feel like I'm stuck, sometimes there might need to be an adjustment. Maybe it's food and maybe I need more food. But really, we have these 3 knobs that we can turn. We have PEDs, we have training, we have food that we can adjust. The food really just depends on your energy use, your body composition. If body composition, like I said, is sliding, then we need to be a little more careful with the food, maybe keep it a little more conservative. But honestly, dude, I wouldn't base your training around your PED use at all. I keep training hard even when PEDs are lower. I think that's a mistake that a lot of guys end up making, and then you see them slide backwards. And I'll tell you, training is going to be harder when the PEDs come down because you're not going to have that same drive. But I would keep the effort the same regardless, and just listen to your body. That's a mistake that I made when I was younger. When it came to training, I didn't listen to your body. Your body will tell you what you can and can't get away with. And know the difference between just like not feeling it. Like when you're on the PEDs, you have this aggression and central nervous system drive where you can push through things that you normally wouldn't push through. Know the difference between just that malaise of coming down versus actual joint connective tissue wear and tear. If your joints are beat up, your tendons hurt, then it might be time to back off a little bit. But if everything's feeling good, you're just unmotivated, that's a completely different thing. That's all mental. That's all up here. The PEDs help you push through that. I think that's why a lot of times guys will back off That's because they just don't have that same aggression for training that they do when they're on gear. That's my 2 cents.